The playoffs begin tomorrow. I can't wait. It is Bristol City versus Sheffield United. And can Bristol City pull off the biggest shock in playoff history? Okay, give us a little bit of poetic license on this one. I got tagged in a really good tweet yesterday. Look, it does happen. Thank you, GH Johnny, who says the biggest upset in any stage of the English second-tier promotion playoffs in terms of points gap between the lower placed team and the higher placed team in the regular season is Sheffield Wednesday against Brighton and Hove Albion. 15 points. Well, Bristol City, if they can beat Sheffield United, would obliterate that record on the table. There's 22 points. Realistically, Sheffield United have scored 24 more points than Bristol City this season if you factor in the points deduction. Let's get in to our first match preview. And is it an impossible task? Well, history says so in terms of the points differential. History also says so in terms of sixth place teams actually beating third place teams. And see if you can hit pause and tell me exactly why we have Darby and Blackpool up there in the graphic. Well, you know why, don't you? Because Darby were the last sixth place team to even get to the final in the EFL Championship playoffs back in 2018-19. And I was at the game, and let's face it, it took a pretty extraordinary turn of events for them to get past Leeds. A massive collapse there at Ellen Road on a famous playoff night there. So it is one win in 8 in terms of the semi-finals for sixth place teams against third place teams. In terms of actually winning the damn thing, and we'll get to that, Blackpool in 2010 were the last sixth placed winner. Therefore, we have had 14 consecutive EFL Championship playoff tournaments in a row since a sixth place team won them. There you go. The odds are against Bristol City, but it's tournament football. It could happen. Who's to say it shouldn't? Look, first thing we'll look at is the head-to-head there, and that should be some cause for some optimism for the Bristol City fans, because it's been really tight in the two games, hasn't it? You can see the home game there at Ashton Gate. Big mitigating circumstances. Look, Bristol City went 1-0 up in 75 minutes there. And then we got the equaliser from Sheffield United. And then it was absolute chaos in injury time. Dickey red-carded on 95. And then a late winning goal from Harrison Burrows. So you can definitely say Bristol City, in this very stadium, in this very fixture that's going to be played tomorrow night, took Sheffield United absolutely the distance. And you can argue there's mitigating factors there with the red card and the late goal. And then we did this one as a watch along, so I can say for definite that Bristol City gave Sheffield United a really good game at Bramall Lane. You can see there Campbell gave the Blades the lead just past the hour mark. Sykes with a late equaliser, but honestly, go back and watch my watch along, and I'm sure even the Blades fans would admit it wasn't a smash and grab. Bristol City had plenty of the ball in that game. And I don't know, is there an argument that this is actually a good matchup for Liam Manning and Chris Wilder? We'll get Liam Manning against Chris Wilder. We'll get into the two managers in just a jiffy. But even though history says that a team with the points differential that Bristol City have got and sixth place teams, period, have no chance of winning this game, well, the regular season maybe says it could be a little bit closer than we think. We're going to get into the key men, the bosses, the odds, etc. But first, can I just talk to you about Fantasy EFL? You can go and play for absolutely free over at the EFL website. Click on the description down below and you will find the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel League code there as well. And by God, I have selected my team. There it is, Mannion of Charlton in goal. I've got Horsfall and McFadzean there representing Chesterfield and Stockport, Rudoni and Harmer, who's my vice-captain, David McGoldrick, I couldn't resist him there, and Charlie Kelman of Leighton Orient. You also have to select 2 teams there as well as your 7 players. I've gone for Chesterfield and Charlton in these first couple of legs, given I think their opponents, Walsall and Wickham, have ended the season in not too good fashion. You can see over that way, if you can see me behind the graphic there, you can win hospitality tickets on the opening day of next season for your EFL club. 1 year of Now TV subscription, so you can watch my watch-alongs and you can watch the games for free, and you can win a home and away shirt for your club. Get involved. Description is where you'll find the link. And look, there is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel League. Thank you to those guys. G Watkin, I can't read it, it's too small. Yeah, I'm out in my terrible eyesight here, but go and get involved over at Fantasy EFL Playoffs. Everything you need is in the description. Let's have a look at the key men, and I think they're very, very revealing. I was actually going to select those 2, Jason Knight and Gus Harmer, as the key men, but I had a quick little check on FootMob to see what the algorithm said, and it did actually agree with my eye test. I think it's fascinating that the key man essentially for Bristol City is a hard-running, organised, pressing, very steady, very consistent central midfield player, which says everything you need to know about Bristol City this season. Knight has been fantastic, hyper consistent, hasn't he? He's played every single minute from a central midfield position, which is quite some going in a 46-game championship slog. And we're not talking about a flamboyant match winner. We're going to be talking about one of them in a minute. But it says everything about how Liam Manning has got Bristol City to the playoffs, that if your key guy is a hard-running central midfielder, and by the way, don't get all narky about that, Bristol City fans, it's a compliment. I think it says everything about how Manning has taken essentially a team with few or 0 stars, given how you can argue Mehmeti and Twine are match winners in there. But in terms of their impact, that's not been how Bristol City have got in there. They've got in there by being super, super consistent, really, really good at home. And I think the fact as well, we mentioned this with Sam on the Championship Checking podcast, they've got 3 players, Bristol City, O'Leary, Knight and Viner, who have played every single minute of this season. And then the complete polar opposite there in Gus Harmer, who is your textbook flair, Brazilian, play off the cuff match winner. Yes, he might not follow all the instructions he's given, but you forgive him because he will win you the game. He will constantly try to play through balls and have shots and put the ball into the box. It's just the type of player he is, and Chris Wilder's found a decent position for him, not in the number 10, where I indeed put him in my championship team of the season, but just off the left-hand side. And the other thing I would say about Gus Harmer, we have clear historical evidence of this. 2 years ago in the playoffs for Coventry, this was Harmer's scene, wasn't it? He turned up in the biggest way, got the goal to win the second leg of the semi-final for Coventry at Middlesbrough, and then he got the... Did they score? They scored second, didn't they? Got the equaliser. I was at the game. I can't remember. Too many playoff finals I've been to. I'll be there this year as well, by the way. He scored at Wembley as well. So those are the key men, and I think they are very, very revealing. And the 2 bosses, Liam Manning and Chris Wilder, we've already kind of mentioned that Manning, and I've said this from the start of the season, and I thought this when he was MK boss and Oxford boss to a lesser extent, but I was really across him as MK boss because obviously my team Ipswich were in League One at the same time as MK were. So methodical, always talking about the behaviours and the process. I know it can sound a bit David Brenty on repeat, but when it works, which it did to take MK to third, although he didn't win in the playoffs, he came a cropper against Gareth Ainsworth's Wickham there, and it's got Bristol City into 6th this season. Will it work in tournament football? Do you have to be a bit more of a chess player and move the pieces around in a one-off game? Does a process manager favour the league format? I mean, his time at MK would suggest that might be the case, but also that was a few years ago, and Liam Manning strikes me as very smart, and he will have learned, and he will be aware of that characteristic that people like myself, are raising, and he will obviously try and deal with it. Chris Wilder, yes, Sheffield United don't like the playoffs. Yes, their last two promotions have been, they finished second both times, once under Wilder, once under Paul Heckingbottom. At their best this season, Sheffield United have beautifully leveraged the fact that, they're a parachute team, they've got a better squad, and they've done such a great job of being in games and then just using their quality, just those moments where they go for it and take teams to the cleaners, with the likes of Harmer, through the season, O'Hare. They've got options up top with Moore and Tyrese Campbell and Brewster. Cannon hasn't come good yet, and Wilder has been able to manage that situation really well. There's been times we've been watching Sheffield United and we thought, they're not playing so well, are they? Bang, win, clean sheet, done. I was going to say very good at home and very good with the clean sheets. Before that terrible run, the 3 straight defeats, I think they had the best away record in the league as well. So they've just been a very, very good side, and a side that has recorded 92 points, deduct 2 off, obviously, across the season. So it's a good battle in the dugouts, but what can you do sometimes from the dugout? Would have to be a bit of a masterclass from Manning, given the quality of squad differential there. Now, this is interesting because our friends and our partners over on the prediction show at Boyle Sports have it that the market is fairly split on this one. Now, look, obviously, that is literally match betting. It's not to qualify for the final, and you would imagine the price to qualify for the final would skew much better in Sheffield United's favour, but the market isn't sure in this first leg. 17-10 for both, 2-1 for the draw. Feels like good value. That's where I've gone in my predictions as well. So despite all I said at the top about history saying that Sheffield United will definitely win this tie, this matchup, the head-to-head says it's close, doesn't it? The odds say it's close. And Bristol City need to make Ashton Gate an absolute fortress, which they have done so well. And they have won tight games. Yes, they lost a tight game to Sheffield United. It feels like it was a way ago, and we are now into tournament football. There you go. There is our first play-off preview. And I'm having a bit of fun with the title. Can Bristol City pull off the biggest shock in playoff history? I feel they need to get their noses in front in leg one. If they're going to be able to do it, then they can draw the second leg to qualify for Wembley. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And hopefully I'm super organised by the time this has come out. And I have launched the watch-along already, and I will tag it up there. Come and join us tomorrow night, Thursday night. What is it? 8 o'clock kickoff. We will be live from, 7:45 for that one. I cannot wait. I love playoff football. It is absolutely riveting, tense, brilliant. Use whatever word you want to describe it. And will the word we're going to be using to describe it after the fact be a shock win for Bristol City?